Hi everyone, good morning. This is Karen from Karen Saber Tarot, and today is going to be a little bit different because I will be discussing the difference between a tarot deck and an oracle deck. I'm sure many of you, especially those who are trying to learn the tarot, will, when they go to a particular bookstore that sells tarot decks, they will also encounter a different type of card called oracle cards. And just to give you a visual example, the usual common tarot deck that people buy is the Rider-Waite Tarot. That's the Rider-Waite Tarot. And for the oracle cards, it depends. There's a lot of oracle card authors out there, and they come in different designs and usually beautiful. And for purposes of example, I'm going to use this oracle card, the Quantum Oracle card from Sandra Ann Taylor. So, what is the difference between the tarot or the tarot deck and the oracle deck? First, I'd like to talk about the structure because the tarot deck is composed of 78 cards in total. And of those 78 cards, 22 of those cards is grouped into a major arcana card. So major arcana is basically it's like considered as the cards that has master lessons or spiritual lessons, and they are 22 in number, and it starts from the card with a 0 as its number and ends with a 21, number 21, which is the world card. So that's what the major arcana cards is composed of, and the rest of those 56 cards are divided into 4 suits. So we have the first suit is the cup suit, then we have the wand suit, then we have the suit of swords, then we have the pentacle suit. So each of those 4 suits has cards numbered 1 to 10. So say for example, we have the cup suit. We talk about the cup suit. We have the first card, which is the number 1 card, which is the Ace of Cups. And then we have the number 10, which is the the 10 of Cups. That's the 10 of Cups, not the Ace of Cups, sorry. So yes, after those 10th card, it's going to be followed by the court cards. So for the court cards, it is called court cards in the minor arcana deck because it composed of each suit, cups, wands, pentacles, and swords, have court cards that starts from the page. So we have in the cup suit the page of cups, and then we have in the cup suit we have the knight of cups followed by the page of cups, and then we have the Queen of Cups followed by the King of Cups. So if you go to the swords suit, you will see start again from the Ace of Swords and then through to the 10 of Swords, and then we have the court cards of that suit started by the Page of Swords and then ends with a King of Swords. So yes, so all in all, those minor arcana suits that totals 56 divided into 4 sets or 4 suits, and then each suit has their own court cards, which starts from the page, then to the knight, and then to the queen, and then to the king, and then each of those major arcana cards and minor arcana cards have different meanings. Major arcana cards, as I mentioned earlier, is about the master lessons that the querent has to learn or may already be in the process of learning. So it's major life lessons. The minor arcana is about lessons that you can learn every day on a daily basis that you encounter. Depending on the spread, it's basically about things that you deal with on a daily basis. So that's what the tarot card deck is composed of and is structured as. So when you have a reading, because each of those cards have corresponding meanings depending on whether it belongs to a major arcana or a minor arcana, and if it belongs to a minor arcana card deck, then you have to check, is it a court card? If it's a court card, then it has an entirely different structure as well when reading for it. So now let's go to the oracle card deck. The oracle card deck that I have is really beautiful. They're quite different from the tarot because they're, with regard to structure, there's not a lot of structure with it. Every author in the oracle card deck can decide how many cards. There's no limit, but it usually is like 44 cards, sometimes 53, 52, even 78. It depends. The author is free to designate how many cards she or he would like to have in her own oracle cards. And one of the things that is different as well, aside from the number of cards in any oracle cards, and aside from this particular part of the structure, is that they can assign different contents of each card. So it depends as well. So for example, for this particular card, you can put on any visual that you like if you're the author, and you can assign a meaning to these particular cards. So in this particular card, it says events and great achievements. So these events and great achievement, these oracle cards have their own meaning inspired by the author. And for this one, we have the deserving card. So there isn't any structure here except what the author has decided to put in the card. And they usually come as well with, I would like to also add that the tarot card has its particular booklet. And it depends on the tarot deck. So this one is a bit small, but you can always buy, you can always get different booklets or books that relates to the tarot. But with the oracle card, each author has their own guides. And the reason why each author has their own guides, it's actually a thick book. Say, for example, this card. So each card has its own meaning, and it is basically in the discretion of the author of that particular oracle deck if they wish to have those cards with a particular meaning. So yeah, that is what the difference so far is with the oracle deck. With regard to structure, it is less structured, and the author assigns meanings to each of the cards. And it's basically easy to read. Actually, both are, but it's personal preference. And when I do my reading, I always include with me a set of oracle decks. Now let's move on to the usual common conceptions about the tarot. So in my previous videos, I discussed about, the scary cards. So a lot of people, not really a lot, but there are some who prefers to be using oracle cards compared to tarot, mainly because of the content. So if you remember, I discussed the death card. So if you compare say, let's pick one card here, the death card and an oracle card that says your higher self. So the imagery itself is another difference. Aside from the imagery, the death card can come into different images as well, but most often than not, the content or how it is interpreted, this is usually has this common interpretation of the death card, and people tend to not like the idea of having, they tend to shun, when it comes to getting readings with this particular card coming up or showing up. But with oracle cards, it is most often very positive, and encouraging and inspiring. So just by looking at this particular picture of a woman with a pink heart in the middle with um, wings, and her smiling and says your higher self, it is already giving you this sense of, oh wow, that's so nice, this feeling of positivity, and which is what the oracle card is designed for as well, and which is the same as the tarot. But because the pictures can be a little bit confronting, um, some people would prefer they use the oracle cards. So I hope that that particular short video is helping you shed some light as to the difference between oracle deck and a tarot deck. So if you would like to subscribe for more videos, informational videos, and daily readings, you can always go and subscribe and hit the subscribe button. And if you would like personal readings from me, you can just email me. My details are actually just located in the About channel. Thank you.